I like the space.
Ayush, Rose.
सेम भैया
ओके यार, मतलब ऐसे उसमें मत बोलना।
नहीं भैया,
हाँ मतलब अगर सही में बोर हो रहे हो ना, बोल देना भैया बहुत लेंदी जा रहा है, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
मेरे को तो कम ही लग रहा है।
अच्छा ठीक है फिर। Anyone else would like to add?
No, I think it's all good.
Okay, बढ़िया। ठीक है यार, let's begin. So lot of technical stuff. Let's go through some data points to understand how the market is, and enough of theoretical stuff. Let's see something interesting. Okay, so the question that I want to ask you guys is, what is a good time to invest in the market according to anyone? What is a good time to invest in the market? Anyone?
I think if you're planning to invest in a long term, I think any time is a good time.
Okay, anyone else?
If you are thinking for a long term, so I think we should wait for the minimum hit. If you should observe the market for 2-3 months, or matlab, it's up to you, and you should just see how the market is going and just wait for the right time and invest when it is at the lowest. Like if someone is too much uh, sure about the market, if we see this Russia crisis and the market was at its bottom, so many friends were like, I won't sell my stocks, I'm pretty sure that is gonna double, and they even buy more stocks. So it depends like how you are analyzing the market, and if you are planning for long term, then you should invest when it is at its lowest.
Okay, agreed. Both techniques are good. Both techniques are actually correct. There's no hard and fast rule, as to say. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to add on what Ayush said, that when the market is going on recession, then it's a good time to buy.
Okay.
Because when it will go high, then it will give much better returns.
All right. Let's look at the historical data to analyze, our hypothesis, whatever we have created. So let's look at the Sensex and Nifty. Anyone over here who doesn't know what Sensex is or Nifty is? I'm fine. I'll explain it. No issues. But I hope everyone understand what Nifty Sensex is.
Like, I'm not sure. Like, I have heard about Nifty 50. So it's like a group of companies which are performing well in top 50. So is it similar for Sensex? Like, it is a group of companies which are performing good.
Sensex is basically a combination of 30 companies in the Indian stock market, and then the top 30 performing companies, which basically puts your market up and down. I'm not sure which those 30 companies are, but let's see. Sensex. Okay, so 30 well-established companies, which are very sound. So basically, the market movers. These 30 companies would be the companies because of which, you can say that, okay, if these companies tank down, then the whole market will tank down. If these companies go up, then these companies, then the whole market would go up in general. And 50 is just, Nifty 50 is just, 50 companies rather than the 30 companies, the top 50 companies in the market. The question arises, why is, can anyone answer this question? Why is Sensex being of 30 companies is 52,000, and why is Nifty a group of 50 companies and just 15,000? Anyone?
Your voice is not audible.
My voice is not audible? Is it audible now?
It is audible.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I can say like if we say top 1% of if we say about population, richest 1% share, people have the most amount of money. If we say na, so 90% whole income is equals 10% population's income. So we say the top are like they are crossing the extremes. So everyone is like earning 1 lakh, suppose. So if we say 90% of Indian population is having an average of 25,000, but that 10% is having like 2 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore. So that 10% is much more than that 90%. So if we say Sensex top 30 companies are doing extremely well, their profits are extremely well if we compare to the top 50.
But still, the question still remains the same. Agar suppose karo that you have ABC, 3 companies, 10 rupees each in BSC, and you have ABCDE companies in Nifty 50, for example. तो ABC का जो प्राइस है वो तो BSC में भी और ये निफ्टी में भी है, राइट? बट निफ्टी में तो और एडिशनल 2-3 कंपनीज एक्स्ट्रा फॉर एग्जांपल, तो उसका प्राइस और ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए as compared to Sensex.
Anashit, like in terms of mutual funds, I can talk like when we consider a BSE, it is taking only large cap companies, right? Where in Nifty 50 it takes like multiple companies, even in small cap, mid cap, all those companies are considered. Where in large cap companies the share price is too high, like MRF is 88,000, right? So that's why it is 52,000. Where in Nifty 50, like small cap companies are also there, like startups will be there which are performing good, right? So we are considering that into Nifty 50. That's why the average cost is much lesser than the BSE Sensex. That's what I think.
Okay, it's a good guess, but there's actually something which is into play. Why I wanted you guys to answer is these Nifty and Sensex are actually weighted average of the companies which are there in them. It's not just a summation that, okay, if MRF is 75,000, I just add 75,000 plus 2,000 plus blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. It's a weighted average. Make sense? I hope everyone understand weighted average over here.
Can you please explain that?
Okay. So for example, okay, we'll understand that more in technical analysis, but okay. Weighted average, if you have say x1, x2, x3 as your variables, if you want the value of x1 to be very high weightage in, so suppose you have an equation y is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3. Now, if you want x1 to be very will have a very heavy weightage in getting the value of y. So how can you do that? Anyone? I can add certain weight to x, right? X1, right? I can say that y is equal to 2 times x1 plus x2 plus x3. So now weightage of x1 in determining the value of y will be heavier than what x2 and x3 would be determining the value for y. Is this concept clear?
Yes, Anash.
Yes. So that is what happens when you take, so this is weighted summation, and then weightage average will be just 2 into x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 2 plus 1 plus 1, so divided by 4. So basically that would be a weightage average. So all the companies in Nifty will have some weights attached to it. And how are these weights determined? They are determined by the government, simply. Even for Sensex, there would be certain weights which would be given to certain companies, and not by the government, sorry, by NSE and BSE, by the stock exchanges that we have. Okay, I need to check on that, but I think it's NSE and BSE who decides these weights. So so because of these weighted average, you'll see that the BSE or the Sensex is at 52,000, and Nifty, despite of being a weighted average of 50 companies, it's just at 15,700. Make sense? Any questions? Okay, I'll take that as no, and we'll move forward. Okay, so right now, answering the question, coming back to the question, what is a good time to invest in the stock market? If you look at historically, if you look at historic patterns, you will always see that the stock market keeps on growing. How many of you know about the Great Depression, about the stock market crashes which happened in 2007? Okay, Rizwan knows it. Anyone else? Okay, so basically there are times when the market crashes a lot. It happened in 2007, it happened in 1992, I guess. Yeah, so Harshad Mehta scam, if you remember. Because of that, the market crashed a lot. So 1992, 2007, a good time to understand when the market crashes. So even if you look at this particular spike, this is, I guess, the Harshad Mehta scam when it happened. So you'll see a tiny bit of market going down. Actually, it's not tiny bit. If you just look at the market over here, it dropped around 40 to 50%. But as compared to the whole market, as of today, it was a very tiny drop. Even if you look at the 2007 drop, the market tanked around 60%. But the market again raised itself, and this is the COVID time, right? The market just dropped again 30-40% during the COVID times itself as well. And then the market, fought back and went up. Even if you look at the Nifty would be going in the same direction. You look at Sensex, it is the same direction. So to answer the question, when is it a good time to invest in the market? You'll always miss the bus if you try to time the market. On an average, if you are a good investor, if you are a great investor, if you would have invested in 2001, 2006, 2008, 2009, if you had the patience to hold the market, that's when you always come up by making a profit in the market. Yes, if you would have made an investment over here, for sure, you would have waited 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12 to actually make some profit out of it. But there are some hedging strategies, there are some averaging strategies which you could have used and actually made profit lot faster than waiting for 3-4 years. But the main point is to stay invested in the market. Even if there are bad times, it's okay. If you keep pushing your money in the market, ultimately it will always give you a higher return, because the economy itself is designed to grow. If the economy stagnates, or if the economy stops growing, then the country will go bankrupt, the country will go haywire, and the economy won't work. So it's always, and it's a developing country, right? India is a developing country. A developing country always has to keep developing itself. It has to cope up with the developed countries. So always you'll see that the businesses will grow, and with the new opportunities that are rising, you'll see a lot of startup ecosystem, make in India ecosystem, which is happening. So you'll see a lot of run that is happening in the market in a long term, and that's in a long term you are always a winner. Any questions, concerns? No, Nashit, I don't agree. I'm totally fine with that. Any counter arguments? I hope everyone is not sleeping now.
Why, if we say why invest in stocks, like long term mein to, like if we say properties are also making good. If someone has invested in stocks, and someone also invested in real estate, it is also giving a good return.
Absolutely.
As the population is increasing and big cities, there is a lot of demand of this real estate. So why not to put our...
You're absolutely correct. But what is the appreciation rate of properties? 8 to 10%?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Anyone would like to weigh in?
Yeah, I think depends on the location. Like it may vary 10 to 20.
I don't think 20%. I mean, for sure, not 20%.
But the amount we have to invest, it's a very large thing, right?
Number one.
Exactly.
Number one. Like, the amount that you need to invest is very large. Number two, I think, you guys might debate it, but I think 8 to 10% or even 12% is what is the appreciation rate per annum for any property. That's my understanding. And even with investing in a simple mutual fund, you can get 13 to 15% of return. So, you know, and then the second point, which is actually correct, that you have to invest 70 lakhs, 60 lakhs into a property to get a property. Even if you go for 1 BHK, you need to invest 35 to 40 lakhs as of now. But, you know, in the market, you can invest whatever amount you want. That's another thing. That's a great point, actually.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, can you please repeat the ROI for the stocks and for the flat?
Okay, so stocks, it generally depends upon the stock, but even normal mutual fund will give you an average return of 12 to 15% for any at any given time. And if you look at a CAGR, don't look at just 1 year, look at a CAGR. You'll see even if you look at a CAGR for Sensex and Nifty, it's around 16%. Nifty and Sensex, they grow at 16% in a long term. So even the CAGR of Nifty and Sensex is greater than your house CAGR or the house growth.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns, people?
I'm not hijacking your session, Ashid, but just want to make one point. Like if you want to add, invest in real estate, then if you have less amount, then there are few mutual funds which invest in real estate. You can go for that, like RELT are there, right?
Absolutely. Correct.
Yeah.
And they will also give you a nice return. That's actually correct. All right, moving forward. So then there's Dow Jones, S&P 500. Dow Jones and S&P 500 are similar to Sensex and Nifty, but they are for US. Moving forward. Okay, so now what? You're getting 16 to 20% of return, 15 to 12 to 13%, 12 to 15% of return. So now what? You just go and invest the money? No, hold your horses. A stock market. So if you look at some of the good stocks, for example, Infosys. Infosys has, in past 5 years, has gone from 500 to roughly 2000, right? So roughly 4 times return in 5 years. Of course, it's a good stock, and in past 5 years, you could have just quadrupled your money. So if you had have invested 1 lakh, you would have sold it at around 4 lakhs. Now let's look at some other good stock. MRF tires. If you would have invested somewhere in 1999, I know I know it's crazy, but the amount of return, it's around 71,000 now. So if you would have invested, I think this was around 10 rupees over here. Even till 2007, it was around 100 rupees, and your 100 rupees would have converted into 71,000. Now, stocks such as ITC, and of course there are dividends. We'll talk about dividends later. This ITC stock is generally known for good dividends that it pays out. Dividend is something that you would get on a yearly basis or on a half yearly basis. Company usually share their profit with apart from the stock that you hold. Company share their earnings with you guys so that you can have some part-time payment. ITC is a well-known stock for dividends. So even apart from dividends, if you just look at the growth, you'll see that, okay, it's overwhelming. And of course, people usually talk about this a lot in YouTube videos, in Instagrams, everywhere. Now, even if you look at a company such as SEL Manufacturing, in December, this company was actually a penny stock, 5 rupee stock in November. And just in 6 months, look at, the price that it is at right now. It made a peak of around 1200, and then now it's declining. But nevertheless, the return that it would have given is, if you would have invested 1 rupee in this particular stock, you would have got 176 rupees out of it. Now, you're good at math. If you would have invested 1 lakh, just look at the potential that you could have earned from this particular stock. So this is the last company that I would like to talk about, which is, this company was trading at 37 paisa in in November, and it made a peak of around 120. So again, crazy, massive amounts of return, right? If you would have invested 1 lakh, if you would have invested 10 lakhs in this particular company, I don't think you would ever work in your life, right? But everyone talks about these stocks. Then, of course, there are some range-bound stocks as well, which actually go in a range. So you can always time these stocks when you can say that, okay, this particular stock will always move between the range of 30-ish to 45, 50-ish. So you can always say that, okay, if this stock is at 30 right now, all right, I'll go ahead and buy it. And then if it is at 50, I'll go ahead and sell it. Why these kind of stock exist? These stocks exist because, so if you have a look at this particular stock, it's an irrigation stock, right? So irrigation will depend upon season and, you know, the season in which the crop is growing and a lot of other stuffs, right? So because of that, this always trends in a, this always moves in a range. It's a range bound stock. So you can always track these kind of stocks where you can say that, okay, 30 पे आ गया है भाई खरीद सकते हैं अब, या 35 पे आ गया है अब खरीद सकते हैं, and this will go till around 40, 45. I'll sell it back. Will I make a huge profit? No, but definitely will I make profit of around 8 to 10%? Yes, I can definitely make a profit of around 8 to 10% in these kind of stocks. So there are some range bound stocks as well. But that's the side of coin which every YouTuber, which every, you know, influencer, every Instagrammer shows. Now let me show the other side of the coin as well, where you will see that there are two companies working under same, you know, working under same market sector. One is Vodafone Idea and the other is Bharti Airtel. But if you look at the dynamics, this is when Jio happened, and look at how Idea responded to you know, Jio, and this is how Airtel responded to Jio. So सोने की परख होनी चाहिए. You should know which stock is good, which stock is bad, right? Otherwise 118 रुपए का स्टॉक 8 रुपए का भी हो जाता है, और मैं इनफैक्ट यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे तो वो 2 रुपए का हो गया था. So if you would have invested 10 lakhs, you do the maths, कितने बचते हैं आपके पास. But same चीज अगर आप you would have invested in Bharti Airtel, okay, impact हुआ, no doubt. But look at how it recovered. So सोने की परख करना आना चाहिए, और वो सोने की परख करना ही हम सीखेंगे यहाँ पे. And remember, even if you look at PCJ Jewelers, it was once trading at 600, but look at where it is right now, close to zero. Penny stock 24 rupees का हो गया है. So 10 लाख रुपए अगर इन्वेस्ट किए होते, आज देख लो आप कहाँ होते. Again, Vodafone, same example. Then again, you know, Jet Airways, another very classic example. This particular stock was trading at around around 800, 900 rupees. Now, if you look, it had tanked at around, you know, the bottom that it created was around 30 rupees, 35 rupees, if I'm not wrong. But आपका पैसा कहाँ से कहाँ चले गया होता. So you should know which stock to invest in. Again, Yes Bank, a very classic example. 400 रुपए का stock 4 रुपए पे आ गया था. मतलब if you would have invested 10 lakhs, आज आपके पास 1 लाख बचता. So market, and this is a very you know, fascinating example that I always give. Everyone knows Reliance, right? Although Reliance Communication went to Anil, but everyone knows what Reliance is, right? And Reliance once was trading at 800 rupees. 800 rupees से 99% fall होके ये आज 2 रुपए का स्टॉक हो चुका है. Literally, मतलब आपका पैसा कहाँ से कहाँ चले जाता. I know it is Anil, but again, मार्केट किसी का नहीं होता. तो क्वेश्चन आता है क्या करें यहाँ, मार्केट छोड़ दें? स्टॉक्स दिख रहे हैं जो आपको लिटरली 1 लाख के 10 करोड़ बना सकते हैं. स्टॉक्स ऐसे भी दिख रहे हैं जो कि 10 करोड़ के 2 रुपए भी बना सकते हैं, 1 लाख भी बना सकते हैं. तो क्या करें यहाँ पे, मार्केट छोड़ दें? नो. What you need to do is you need to learn, you need to identify these stocks which would be good for, which would be a good investment opportunities for you guys. And then look at the timing of the market, invest properly, understand the market dynamics, understand the stock dynamics, understand whatever we discussed in a very broad overview, and then invest in the market so that you look at stocks which will make your money from 1 lakh to 10 lakh and not 1 lakh to 1 rupee. Okay, that's it for today's session. I know it was a very, very long session. I don't want to make it so lengthy and very boring because I understand this is the first day, but जैसे जैसे हम बढ़ेंगे, I know concentration power कम होते जाता है, चीजें फिर बहुत ज़्यादा भारी लगने लगती हैं. So we'll make quick 10 minutes, 15 minutes videos where we'll have 5 minutes for question and answer regarding the sessions. But since it was day one, I mean, please excuse me for making it so long. But any question, concerns, any feedbacks, I would love to hear from you guys now. क्या बात है, सब सो गए? Anyone?
I think like I'm actually intrigued with the last few slides. Like now actually like there is a curiosity quench. They're like, what are the technical indicators? What are the actual features from which we can get to know whether to invest it or not? So I think that part is what we are waiting for. Like how
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
invest.
Absolutely, and that's why we are here, right? I think that's the reason. It's better to be sure than sorry, right? It's better to invest in stocks which are good for your portfolio, which are good for you. So I've given it. I've tried to give a very gist, but a 360-degree overall dynamics of the market, how things work. It's not that you just blindly go and invest in the market. You need to learn, you need to understand, how the market works. You need to, understand the dynamics. You need to understand a lot of things. And that's when you go, you'll see your wealth growing. So absolutely. Anyone else? All right. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for joining the session. If you want if you want to give any feedback, anything you want to suggest, I'm open. You guys have my number. Feel free to reach me out over there. All right, thank you everyone. I'll upload this video on YouTube as well. Feel free to go there and look at some points that we discussed if you want to, or if you want to share it with some friends. I'm totally fine with that. Thank you all for your time, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Rashid.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.